everybody, welcome right back to Homestead Heart. I just finished that video on loofah lane and decided, let me come on into the garden and let me go ahead and talk about the bees. While I'm out here, let me just go ahead and talk about the bees. It's been a minute since I've talked about them. It's time for a hive inspection and everything. So I'm going to take you all along with me. Now I'm here. You can see the cucumber vines are dying back here. Got that big yellow one down there. I'm going to use that for some seed because I'm not buying any more cucumber seeds. You know, I do like to buy my seeds from Baker Creek when I can find a variety that I've never tried before. I will try to buy something just to try new things, right? But for the most part, you all, saving seed. If you're growing heirloom varieties, you all, save your seed. The seed only gets better when you save it because it's being conditioned to grow in your area, okay? In your area, your zone, your climate is being conditioned to grow where you are located. Just make sure it starts off being good for your zone, okay? But it only gets better with time, all right? So save your seed if you can. Jax, you might want to come from over there. Let's look at these bees. All right, y'all, so I am here with my hives, okay? Now, let's start with this. I have two hives here. In the hives that my daughter stained. And then I had two hives here. One of them had the deep brood box underneath with the screen bottom board and all of that. We had two hives set up here. Now, remember, I did a video. I'm going to post that video somewhere here where I showed you all we were installing the packages. We talked about where we got the bees from. We got them from two locations. We got them from Mountain Sweet Honey, and we got the other two packages that you see in these hives right here from Barnyard Bees, okay? And these boxes right here come from Harvest Lane Honey. Yeah. Harvest Lane Honey. Honey Lane Harvest, one of the two. You saw us install these packages when we got them. And if you'll remember, in this particular hive here, this first one here, we installed a package of bees and we left them in the hive according to the instructions for 72 hours, I believe, 3 days before we would come back, open the hive, right? Now, we did come back and check on the queen after a couple of days. They had released her. She was doing great. She was out of the cage in the hive. We closed the hive back up. We just wanted to make sure she was out of her cage. And she was. So we closed the cover back up. We left the entrance reducer closed. When we first installed the package, we had the entrance reducer on the hive, but it was closed. So there was no entry. No exit, okay? And we only took the cover off to make sure that the queen had been released. She had been. So we put the cover back on, and they were in the hive for a total of 3 days, all right? Now, the next day that we came out, it was time to open the hive. We opened the hive. Beautiful, right? We watched them. At least I know I watched them because I'm keeping my eyes on my bees. So we watched them. We noticed them doing their orientation flight, right? They all came out and they're all doing this, right? Trying to get their sense of direction, knowing where their hive is, right? They did all of that. Now, beautiful. By the evening, you notice them all marching back into the hives. Beautiful. Next day came out. Did the morning chores. You could see the activity with the bees. They were still doing good, right? By that afternoon, I happened to look and I'm like, I don't see nothing. I see just a couple of bees, right? Came over, the bees were gone. Okay. Why did that happen? Call the company back and ask them, why do you think that happened? Sometimes they just don't like the hive. Okay. Anything else, right? Sometimes they just don't like the hive. Now keep in mind, the company that we got the bees from that were in the white hives, they were delayed in shipping out the bee packages because the bees, the queen, they had a loss with their queens due to the weather. So they had to make more queens and make sure those queens were properly mated before they sent out the packages. So the whole reason for the delay was that they did not want to send out poorly mated queens. Just a note on that. So those bees left. All right. All right. So we ordered packages from Barnyard Bees, installed them. They are doing good. This hive here is a little slower. No, that hive right here is a little slower than this hive. In fact, I have to do an inspection because it's time for me to add a box to this hive, I believe. The last inspection I did, they were just about covering 70 to 80% of the frames in that box. So I know it's time now to add a box, but because of the rain, I haven't been able to come out here and open the hive up. All right. So now this hive here that we got from the white hive here that we got from that same company where our first package of bees just up and left, that hive, y'all, is doing phenomenal. That hive is thriving. It's doing so good. The question was asked, do you think the bees left from hive A and went to hive B? We inspected. No, they didn't. This hive still had the same amount of bees in it when we first installed it. Okay, I did do a look around. All of the trees, no bees. The question was asked, is there something around that the bees might not like? A plant, a tree. How would I know if they don't like a particular tree? I don't know, right? But the most part I could say is this, is that the other hives are doing great. The other three are still here. So if there was a plant around that they didn't like, all of them probably would have left, right? But they didn't. They're here. They're doing fine, actually. Thriving, actually, on the vines above the beehives. That's all honeysuckle. What bee do you know don't like honeysuckle? So they live in the honeysuckle. You can go and shake that fence with the honeysuckle and you'll see bees everywhere. They love, hey honey, they love the honeysuckle, okay? And then plus we're here in the garden. They're all in the garden. They're in both of our gardens, everywhere, all right? So I did answer that question. No, I don't believe that there are any plants around that they don't like. And no, I don't believe that there are any trees around that they don't like, because I have other hives that are doing very, very well. Okay, so the bottom line was is that they had no idea. Maybe the bees just didn't like the hive. No problem. So we ordered a second package from the same company, all right? And we didn't put them in the same box. In fact, what we did was we put a new deep, brand new, okay? Never been used. Did have a plastic foundation with some wax, okay? Kitty. Now, we even moved the box over a bit to see if it was an issue with location. So we just slid it over, because believe it or not, moving the hive over a few inches, that makes a big difference with bees for some reason. We moved the box over, put the new box on, got the new package in, installed that package, you all, and the exact same thing happened. Watch them. Orientation flight. Queen was released. Left them in the hive, not for 3 days. We left them in the hive for 3.5 days, just to make sure that the bees were going to be sticking around, right? They had their feed. They had a feeder in the hive, so they weren't looking for food. They had food in the hive, so they were going to be good, right? We went the extra mile with that package, did more than what we would have done with the other hive, with the other packages, right? In fact, I think we had, no, we did not put 2 feeders in. We only had the 1 feeder, but I took the can away that came with the package because it was empty, and I had them some fresh syrup that I had made, and it was in the hive, so it was completely full, plenty for them to have enough to eat for the next few days. All right? All right. Now, when we released them, we noticed they came out of the hive, orientation flight, went back into the hive. I watched them for that day. So the next day I watched them, okay? And you all, I went back inside for a few moments, right? Working inside the house, few hours. Came back out that same evening, a matter of hours. Came back, came directly in here. The bees again were gone. I cannot tell you the level of frustration, right? Because now I need answers. Because the first hive, I get it. But what are the chances that bees would leave the hive twice? Okay, so I called the company back, and I'm literally like, look, please, I need some answers. I need some information. What can you tell me? Okay, so they were supposed to call me back. The first person I talked to, really nice lady. The second person that called me back, I think was, I don't know if she was like the supervisor or whoever, but she called me back. You all, vague answers, right? Vague answers. And I was very disappointed, because when you order bee packages and you call, you're expecting to get, you know, answers from people who are professionals, and they can give you a little bit something, you know, to kind of help you to understand like what could have happened. And the reason why is because bee packages are expensive. They are not cheap. So when you spend your money with someone, you want at least some help, right? So the answers were vague. So literally, you all, I had to call other bee companies. Okay, y'all, so the camera's acting up. I don't know. I'm using a different camera today because the other one is just about gone. So I'm using a different camera today, and this one just don't like being outside in the heat. So now, in any case, you all, I spoke to several other beekeeping companies, right? Not before I talked to Honey Lane Harvest, because Honey Lane Harvest, you know, because the lady at Mountain Sweet Honey suggested that maybe something had been changed with the boxes then. And I said, okay, but because I did have a new brood box that was totally different. I didn't put the bees in the same box. When the first beehive split, when they left, I didn't put the new bee package from them in the same brood box. I used the new one and put them in that, and they still left. So when I was talking to her, she said, well, maybe they changed something about the box. So I called them and I asked that question, and I told them what was going on, and I gave them the entire rundown. And so the owner was there. She spoke to the owner, and she said, let me be clear, because she said it's a small company, and to my knowledge, nothing has changed, but let me just be clear. So she spoke to the owner. The owner said there have been no changes to their hive components. The glue is still the same. Everything is still the same as it always has been. And mind you, there are bees in that one right here, right? They're not gone, okay? Same boxes, same company, okay? So I did explain the scenario to them. She talked to him to see what he thought. Now I'm going to tell you all, out of all the companies that I called, everybody that sells packages of bees, I even called Barnyard Bees. I spoke to a lot of people. I did not tell them where I got the packages from. I just told them that I bought 2 packages, 2 different occasions. This is what happened. All of them gave me the exact answer with the exception of one company. I think I called about maybe 10 or 11 different people, okay? And all of them gave me the same response. Only one person said, did you check the hive to see if there was something that attacked the hive. And I said, yeah, I did. There was no bunch of dead bees, nothing other than what was already in the bottom of the package, right? No bunch of dead bees, nothing like that. The hive still looked like it looked. And of course, I'm watching the hive. After I opened the hive up to release them, of course, I'm keeping an eye on them. There's nothing that came in that short a time, especially with me watching it, that took out the hive, and the others are still doing just fine, right? And so I explained to them, no, I still have 3 other hives that are doing just fine, and all of them are newly installed packages, all of them. And so they said, oh, well, wow. Then they start to give me a second scenario, which then was the same as all of the others, who said, well, was the queen mated properly? How would I know? I don't know, right? But they all said that it sounds like it was a poorly mated queen. I didn't tell them that when I bought the packages, that the company that sent them out to us, I didn't tell them that there was a delay because of they didn't want to send out packages with a poorly mated queen. I never said that, right? I just wanted to hear from them with their experience, what they thought. And then once they shared it with me, I shared with one person that was the reason why they didn't send out the packages in the first place. And so that person said it sounded like they didn't want to take responsibility for the fact that they may have sent out 2 hives where the queen was not properly mated, okay? Because they both left after only 1 day of being open. They both left the hive. So you all, I can't begin to tell you. Okay, come on. I can't begin to tell you just how frustrated I was, and but in any case, you all, I do have the bees from Barnyard Bees that are doing very well. Now, this hive that I got from that company, the same company where the other 2 packages left, that hive is doing very well, So it was just those 2 packages that I got from. So I ordered a total of 3 packages from this company, and 2 of them left within 24 hours of being released, or having and I only opened the entrance up to the smallest entrance, right? So they left within 24 hours of the hive being completely open, with them having access to go in and out. They were gone, right? They were gone. So I don't know, you all. I did take the advice of the other beekeepers that I spoke to. I even spoke to someone from one of the beekeepers associations. But they did tell. What? I'm not gonna just hold you. Something wrong with you today? I guess her love tank is empty. What is it? You need some attention. Okay. So now, you all, it's been a roller coaster for me with these beehives. Like I said, the other 3 are doing fine, but to spend, to purchase 3 hives and 2 of them to leave, and then you don't get an answer that could help you. Because of course I did my own research, but even in my own research, what I found was vague, right? So I needed to understand. Okay, ma'am, you got to get down. I needed to get some understanding from the beekeeper. No. No, ma'am. So I needed to get some understanding. And so that's why I called so many different people, because I wanted to see what their thoughts would be on what they thought could have happened, so that I can wrap my head around it. And of course, wanting to know what could it, is it something that I should have done differently, right? Is it something that I should have done differently, something that I could have done? You know, I needed to know some answers. So in all of that, what I got from the majority was, it sounds like the queen was poorly mated. Okay? And so that, to me, for it to happen twice, made better sense to me than maybe they just didn't like the box, right? Yeah, that sounded a lot better than maybe they just didn't like the box, you know, or maybe there's a plant around that they didn't like, so they left. Okay? So now, so you all tell me what you think about that, you know. And this is not a video where I'm bashing anybody, you know. Hey, remember now, I said, girl, I said that I'm sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what we do, okay? So I'm sharing it with you. Now, there are a lot of you who are, okay, ma'am, go on. There are a lot of you who are beekeepers. I'm not picking you back up. No. No, ma'am. There are a lot of you who are beekeepers out there. Don't you put your claws in me. There are a lot of beekeepers out there. Please give me your thoughts. Because in truth, you all, this was very serious for me because I have multiple hives right here, right? And for bees to leave twice. Ow!
Grandma, need help.
Okay, y'all. So in my search for help, that's what I needed. I needed help. I needed understanding, right? Because above all things, you get what? You get understanding. So in my studying, in my research, in my book reading of beekeeping, and asking questions, what could have happened, I needed to know. So I reached out to people that are professionals, because they've been doing this a very long time. And so I reached out to people to help, to answer that question. And I'm going to say this, you all of the beekeeping companies that I called, they were so eager to help. In fact, one beekeeping company thought that I purchased the box from them. And they were like, what, twice? And I was like, twice. And so she was getting ready to put me on hold, like, no, we got to do something about that, because that's not, she said, that shouldn't have happened. We need to get some answers, and then we need to decide if we need to send you out another package of bees, right? So they were willing to jump in and make it right away. And before I could stop her, I was on hold. Before I could get the words out to say I didn't order them from you, I was already on hold. And she came back and she said, okay, I have so-and-so here, and you know, we're going to try to, but I had to let her know, no, I didn't get them from you. I was just calling because I was hoping that you could maybe answer a few of my questions to help me understand. I'm a new beekeeper, and I just needed to get some understanding. And they took the time to really help me and answer the questions, you know. And again, they all said the same thing. It sounded like there was an issue with the queen. The queen could have been poorly mated, you know, and that's what I got from the majority of the people that I called about my hive. So, you all, needless to say, I was very, very disheartened by losing 2 packages of bees, right? Not 1, 2, you know, up and left. Nowhere to be seen in the trees around, right? So they were gone. Yeah, heartbroken me. So you all, but the other hives again are doing fantastic. Now again, I purchased 3 hives from this company. So this one hive here that I got from them, that one, is doing so good, right? So that queen that they sent me with this particular package, she is doing her thing, hustling and bustling and getting those eggs laid. She's doing a great job, and so the hive is growing. Now, these other 2 boxes I got from Barnyard Bees. The queen in this hive right here, you can tell she's new. You know, you could tell that she's just not like, she's doing okay. She's finally getting into a rhythm, I'll say that. But for the first month or so, you know, sister girl was like all over the place, man. It was something. But she's now getting into a stride, and that hive is doing so much better. This other hive right here, that hive is booming. Okay, that hive is doing good. In fact, it's time for me to do the inspection. We do have some overcast today and possibly some rain. So as soon as there's no sign of rain, I got to get in that hive because I don't want them to swarm. And plus, you all, I have some issues that I want to make sure we don't have, you know, like varroa mites and hive beetles. I really need to get in there and do an inspection on these hives. I need to test for varroa mites because it is the month of July. It's too hot, really, to use any treatments right now here in Georgia. Okay, so I am going to have to wait, but I do want to do an inspection. I do want to test for those varroa mites to see if our hive has a large number of. Do I think they have mites? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's a large amount? Not really, but I do need to check and see. That's the only way I'm going to know. And there are so many ways to treat for varroa mites. So if you're beekeepers, you all can post in the comment sections below on what you think. We'll keep in mind we are new beekeepers, and I don't know. I've been looking into the Mite Away quick strips as well. So y'all can tell me what you think the best way effectively to treat for varroa mites. The live mites, the eggs, all of that. I want to be able to treat for all of it. I don't want to have to keep coming back over and over again, having to retreat, because I've seen some of the organic methods, but it requires so much more. So I don't want to have to constantly be going in the hive treating for mites, you know. So just you understand what I'm saying. So please post in the comment section below what your thoughts are on how in Georgia, because it's hot, right? And it's just some things I can't use because the temperatures are too high. So you can tell me what you think in the comment section below. I do have my hive beetle traps already. I just got to get those put in. I don't think we have an issue with big issue with beetles, but I'm gonna go ahead and just check for that too, and if we do, we have the treatment for that. But for varroa mites, I will need, tell me what you think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. But although we didn't get the 4 hives we wanted to start with for 2021 going into 2022, we do have 3. And I did try to keep that 4th one going. I really did, but it wasn't successful. But that's okay. I will try again. All right, we will do it again. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this heat. I think I need to drink some water because I have the worst headache ever. Okay, so but I wanted to bring you all up to speed on what was going on with the hives. And I'm so glad that I'm talking about this like months later. I'm glad I'm talking about this months later, you know, because the level of frustration initially, y'all, was just through the roof, you know. So, God willing, next season, you know, the goal is to double the hives year after year after year. And I'm so proud of these girls because they work hard every day, and they're very gentle. They're very gentle. There are some days when I'm around these hives working, doing whatever, and they pay me no mind, and I don't even have on a bee suit. They don't pay me any attention. I could be right there by the hive, and they just fly around me, but they don't touch me, right? But if I go in the hive, oh yeah, I'm getting suited and booted. All right, y'all, that's going to do it. I just want to share with you what happened, because so many of you were asking, well, what happened? Let me tell you about what happened. So I just wanted to share that with you all, what happened to Hive A on 2 occasions. And that's okay, because I'm hoping that next season I'll be able to double the hives, you know, either via splits, I don't know, either via splits, or if I have to, I'll go back to Barnyard Bees and I will go ahead and grab me another package of bees. Okay, and they're in Georgia, so I may be able to even get a nuke and just drive up there and get it, because they don't ship their nukes, you know, it's pickup only. So I may even just go up and pick up a nuke, and that way the bees will already have that jump start, right? So, but in any case, that's going to do it for the update on what happened to Hive A twice. Hive B is doing great. Hive, the um, the stained hives are doing great. We're going to name our hives too. We are. But in general, the honeycomb hideout is doing great. All right, you all. So again, post your comments in the comment section below on what do you think the reason is why those packages left on 2 different occasions, 2 brand new boxes, and not to mention those bees also have one of those new boxes on them as well, and they're still here. They haven't left. There are no trees and plants around that would have caused them to leave, because hey, they're still here, right? So you all post in the comment section what you think below. Okay, could have happened. What do you think it was that made those bees leave twice? All right, I've already gotten the comments from a lot of other beekeepers as well via the phone when I talk to them, but I want to hear from you. All right, y'all. So, and don't forget varroa mite treatment. If you are a beekeeper, what are your suggestions? I would love to know. All right, y'all. That's going to do it. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to get out of this heat. The sun got me right here. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you so much for watching Homestead Heart. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we upload to our channel. Thanks again, you all, for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Remember, grow your groceries. I'm going to see y'all in the next video.